Hello, and welcome back to Keep Smiling Adventures. And today we are doing the Before You Ride the North Yorkshire Moors Rambling Bike Packing route. I have just got back from this route, so it's fresh in the memory. And today we are going to take a look at everything you need to know, all the wild camping, the transportation, everything about the route, including I'll be giving it a difficulty rating, 1 being super easy, 10 being really hard, and then also my overall rating of how I found the ride. Again, 1 being don't bother, and 10 being the best thing ever. So get out there and do it. So this is the Before You Ride the North Yorkshire Moors Rambling Bike Packing route. It doesn't roll off the tongue, does it? Let's get into it. The North Yorkshire Moors Ramble Bikepacking route is a 320 kilometre, 200 mile bikepacking route all around the North York Moors. Starting and finishing in the seaside town of Whitby, it's a route that will let you experience some amazing gravel trails, single track, sheep trails, some rough stuff, overgrown stuff, and any other type of trail you can think of. This route is enriched in history with lots of old abbeys, old churches, mines. If you like history, this route is going to be one of them great ones for you. Lots of great views, lots of great trails to ride, and while some not so great, it's a route that follows lots of different types of ways, and sometimes it feels like you are just free roaming. So a GPS unit for mapping is probably for the best. Is a great bikepacking route if you like history and old buildings, because there is plenty of that along this route. If you enjoy mixing up the trails from 1 minute being on epic gravel trails to next minute following a sheep trail through some overgrown trails, then this is a good route for you. This is a good route if you don't always want to take the easy option, even if it makes no sense not to. You will find yourself wondering, what am I doing here when I could be over there? But if you enjoy the unexpected, I think you and this route will get on well. This route is more for people with a bit of experience and not an entry-level route, as the terrain can be hard to ride in places and the trails steep sometimes and a bit technical and often hard to follow. The North Moors Ramble is a route that keeps itself away from the built-up areas, so being someone who likes to be self-reliant is a must for this ride. I did this on a gravel bike with 50mm tyres, and although it was fine for a lot of the route, this ride does have quite a few sections that would be much better and more fun to do on a mountain bike. So if you want to do it on a gravel bike, go with the biggest tyres you can and expect some hiker bike. That includes a couple of downhill sections of hiker bike also. This route has a fair whack of elevation, and it definitely has its fair share of very steep gradients, although they are mostly short, steep and sharp, so you will want a very nice easy gearing to help with these occasions. When I rode this route, it was mostly pretty dry and there was the odd section of bog, so if it's been raining, then you probably will want to opt for a hardtail, as there is quite a bit of bog. Camping along this route was mostly very good, with there being lots of great places to camp. Although there are times and sections along this route where the camp spots can be a little far apart. But officially there is no camping, as this is England, so if you decide to wild camp, then set up late, leave early and leave no trace. This route stays away from most built up places, so if you are looking for a B&B or hotel, you will most likely have to deviate away from the route. If you wanted an official camp spot, there are a couple on the route, but they are few and far between. It starts and finishes in the seaside town of Whitby, which has a train station, and the train company is Northern Rail. Northern Rail have bike spaces on their trains but are limited, so it's best to book before travelling. Alternatively, you can do what I did and start in Scarborough, which also has a train station, and follow the cinder track and join the route around Robin Hood's Bay. The difficulty of this route is going to be a 7.5 out of 10. The terrain can be hard to ride in places, fairly steep. It also has a lot of trails that are barely even trails and can be quite hard to follow. Some of the trails are on the rough side, especially if you opt for the gravel bike. There is also plenty of sections that are overgrown or boggy, and after a bit of rain will most likely be unrideable. The North York moors are very exposed, so in bad weather it can be on the tough side, which makes this route all that more difficult. This route also staying away from all the built up areas with only a few little village shops and tea rooms which have limited opening hours along the way make this a bit more difficult as well, as you have to be a lot more self-reliant. This route does have a few streams and rivers along the way, but not a whole lot. So on a hot day, you will need to carry a good 2 litres, maybe 3 on really hot days, and keep an eye out for the streams to refill and filter water. These streams can be quite far apart, making it a bit harder, especially on them hot days. Overall rating for this route is going to be a 6 out of 10. I don't hate this route, but I did find it to be quite annoying and tedious in places. You can be 1 minute enjoying a really nice trail to then just suddenly turn off it just to come back on it a little later. It nearly always ended up turning off the nice trail onto a trail that was either overgrown or just generally hard to follow. This got quite tedious quite quickly, making the route very stop and start instead of having a nice flow to it. The route did have some really amazing trails along the way though, some of the best old ruins, which was nice to see. To be able to stop and just admire that stuff on bikepacking adventures is just always nice. It was definitely a route with lots to see. It's a route that could easily be an 8 or a 9 out of 10, though with a bit of tweaking to remove some of the tedious sections. So guys, there we have it, the before you ride the North Yorkshire Moors rambling bikepacking route. It was a love-hate kind of relationship, lots of tedious stuff, then lots of absolutely amazing beautiful stuff, some absolutely beautiful old ruins, some great gravel, some not so great gravel, but generally it was not a bad route. Definitely with a few bits of tweaking could be like a really amazing, perfect bikepacking route, I think, for the North York Moors. So if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing, trying to get to 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Can we do it? Who knows? But till next time, keep smiling, enjoy the adventure.